find your lack of faith disturbing.
Gotcha!
Smashmouth Footballers.
Wait, we got a dream next to the team. Yeah, we can handle it. Wait, soon as I go and I step in arenas, they call
Introducing.
They know what it is, know what I do.
Nick Tate.
Who don't understand? Yeah, that's overdue. My trophy say that's overdue. My ring.
Joe Caldero.
Yeah, they know it's true. They couldn't walk a mile or even fit
Chad Young.
my shoes. Still I got a lot to prove, but for all that we've been through, this overdue. This the anthem.
Hey, I'm Nick with Smashmouth Footballers.
Joe Caldero.
And today we're going to go over some updates. Also, Joe, he's got some highlights he wants to give you from his last draft that he just currently did.
As you guys can see, Chad's not with us today. He had something he had to take care of, but like some of the greatest action movies out there, he was like, you guys have to keep going, moving forward. So he'll be back on the next podcast.
So what about your draft, Joe? How did that turn out?
So this is the draft you guys are not in. I just wanted to share how things differ between very, very serious guys who've been playing for 15 plus years together to this league that I play in every year for the past 7 years, I guess, because I have a 75% win rate. My quarterback, Kyler Murray, Garrett Wilson, Rashee Rice, I got in the 9th round. Saquon, Cook, Brandon Ayuk, Aaron Jones, Zamir White. That's my starters.
You have 4 number 1 running backs?
Yeah, because it's 2 flex.
Okay.
Then on my bench is Christian Kirk, Jaden Daniels, Calvin Ridley, Khalil Shakir, Chuba Hubbard, good for 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson and Ray Davis, who I think is going to be a touchdown vulture. This is a PPR league.
Man.
So I think I did good on that one.
I think you stole it.
Yep.
So that's what we've talked about before. A lot of research goes into drafting and also trying different things out. When you guys are drafting this week, right before the season starts, you want a mock draft. So if you know your position, that's going to help you out a lot. You get to kind of see if I take Breece Hall in round 1, who I'm left with in round 2. And then you also get to see if you're targeting a certain quarterback. Maybe you want C.J. Stroud this year. Maybe that's just the thing you have to be happy with, playing your league this year. You got C.J. Stroud. So how many rounds can I go before someone snatches up C.J. Stroud?
Right.
And so you want to kind of mock draft that and make sure you target that player early, all while still being able to fill in your roster with players that you're completely happy with.
I was really impressed with the sleeper app that we just started using this year, because old mock drafts you had to just pick wherever you fell in the line. Right. But on sleeper you can actually pick your draft position, and so that helps a lot. Yeah,
with the NFL mock draft, you have to wait for a draft to pop up. Hope you can get that slot, and then you got to keep playing. But with sleeper, you actually get to put that it's a PPR league, it's a standard league, or whatever, and then you get to select your position, and you can invite people to actually come mock draft with you.
Right.
So I mean, I'm excited about it. I honestly wish some of the other drafts would go to it, and man, I'd love it because it gives you a lot of information. And
AI is the way to go now.
AI is definitely a way to go. So going into our news, we're going to start off Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is struggling with contract issues, but currently the coaches are saying they're not worried about him not missing week 1. From my understanding, he's not even asking for a whole lot. And it's one of those things where the Bengals, I don't even understand why they're taking so long and dragging their feet.
I do not know. T. Higgins is gone after this year. They're going to need him.
Yeah. I mean, I understand I think he's got 2 years left on his contract. I think that's why they're struggling to make this happen. But at the same time, that's your guy.
You want to keep him and Joe Burrow together.
Yep.
They're like Siamese twins. They know what each other's thinking. So they got to get it done.
Yeah. Who you got, Joe?
Just a couple of notable cuts. Juju Smith-Schuster was cut from the Patriots. He's back with the Kansas City Chiefs now. Mm-hmm. I don't think he'll make much of a difference, but I don't know. He can be a bench player for him. Kadarius Toney was cut. He needed to be cut. I don't even know why he's still in the NFL.
I'll tell you what's crazy is with Kadarius Toney, the Chiefs every year with him were like, man, this is going to be the guy. And I remember him playing on the Giants, and they were like, he's the guy. Like
he wasn't the guy then either.
And every time we saw him on the field, he'd get one good play here and there, but other than that, zero outcome.
Couldn't create space. Drops a lot of balls. Let's see what else we got going on here.
All right, so we got an injury. Don't forget, we got Green Bay. Marshawn Lloyd. He has a hamstring injury, and they're looking for him to be out 3 to 4 weeks.
A.J. Dillon's already gone for the year.
A.J. Dillon has a season-ending injury.
Wow.
So currently, Josh Jacobs is the only thing in that backfield. So you guys who actually drafted Josh Jacobs, or if you're going to draft, the next 3 to 4 weeks, he's going to be the bell cow.
Take into account Jordan Love is not running that ball.
Yeah,
he's a true pocket quarterback. So
that's definitely a win if you look at Josh Jacobs. I think his value goes up in any draft currently from here to the end of the before the season starts.
It also raises the value of both them tight ends.
Yes, without a doubt.
So Noah Brown was cut. He's a practice squad guy anyway.
Yep.
Caleb Fairley, the cornerback for the Titans, was cut. I mean, he's okay. He's not terrible. Terrence Marshall Jr., he's with the 49ers now, right?
Yeah, that was surprising. So they took the Carolina Panthers took Terrence Marshall round 2 2 years ago in the draft, and I believe like most people do that. I don't think they're using him right.
No, it was a scheme thing. They used him terribly. He's a downfield threat, and they're using him for like shallow cuts,
slot receiver and stuff.
Yeah, the 49ers will use him correctly.
Well, that kind of.
And I think they're afraid they're going to lose Ayuk, so they're looking for value.
Oh yeah, because they still haven't even concluded his contract yet.
The biggest nobody in the NFL, just because we don't pander to none of these players.
Right.
Chase Claypool has a season-ending injury.
Okay.
Why is he still in the NFL?
I don't know.
He's failed at 4 different teams now.
4. I agree.
So that just shows you if you've had any time as a starter, someone's going to give you millions of dollars to hopefully come back to something. He was never anything, though.
No, he wasn't even. Every year they talk Chase Claypool up. The Steelers did a lot, and then you'd pick him up, put him in your bench, you'd watch for a couple weeks, and zero value every time.
Zero. The one that really stands out to me, well, 2 really. Elijah Mitchell.
Yep.
He's hurt. That's big if CMC goes down. And Deonta Foreman.
Now that one, from everything I read, is a re-sign. The Browns are planning on re-signing Deonta Foreman, so right now they're looking at fixing their salary cap. So they're releasing Deonta Foreman to re-sign him in a different contract.
Right.
Because right now there's only 2 running backs in the backfield, and that's Ford and Chubb. That's all they have on their roster.
Boston Scott, he did in spot plays. Man, he did pretty good with the Eagles 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Samaje Perine, that one's very interesting to me because he's a consummate professional. He understands his role. He can block for the quarterback, and he's a goal line vulture. He's not going to be your every down back or anything, but
right.
He still has value.
Yeah, they cut him just like 2-3 days ago.
Yeah, and that's just because their backfield is packed up. Mm-hmm. And that was the coach's guy. He brought him there. So that just shows you they got a lot of faith in McLaughlin and Williams.
Perine, he helped out Burrow and them years ago when they went to the playoffs, and
when Mixon got hurt.
He was doing some real good coverage there.
You wouldn't have even known Mixon was not there.
Deshaun Watson, they're restructuring his contract. According to Yates and the Browns, they converted $44 million into $35 million to create cap space, but they're still worried about his health. He's had shoulder issues, and they're actually looking to they're put his back up on the trade block.
Wow. Okay.
So,
all right.
I don't understand that, but
there's some things moving right now, but So one thing that stands out to me, us being Saints fans, and how terrible our offensive line is, the Saints made a big move and signed a lineman, but he was a defensive lineman.
Yeah,
and he's going to be a second team.
I tell you what I've learned about football over the years, and it's not just in NFL or anything like that. If you can't score, it don't matter how good your defense is.
But all these cuts, I mean, you've got one, Alex Leatherwood. He may not be great, but he didn't let 3 sacks in a row.
Yeah.
You got Rick Stromberg, the center from the Commanders. You've got a bunch of guys, man, a bunch of offensive linemen here. Leal Collins, give someone a chance. Caleb Jones. There's people here that the Saints need to be looking at.
Well, the Saints just put Keandre Miller on the pup. He's looking to be out at least 6 weeks, and they're talking real big about Hill. They're wanting to put Hill even on the defensive side of the game.
About time. Someone said, I heard something about linebacker. So, they said that when Peyton was there, they wanted to move him over to linebacker, and then now that I think that's going to be a thing this year. So the boy's going to be playing all kinds of different positions: quarterback, running back, fullback, linebacker, tight end, whatever. When a few years ago, when he was on the field for a majority of the time, he did great.
Yeah,
because he built up the momentum. But when they keep putting him in for one play, the defense knows exactly what he's going to do. He's going to run the ball because Dennis Allen is like an open book.
Right. Well, the thing I never understood about the way they do it is, like, we're going to put Taysom Hill in, and
he's going to run the ball.
The odds of him throwing is like 1 in 50. You
remember 2 years ago when they put him in and he faked the run and threw the touchdown?
Yeah.
Why don't they do that more?
I don't know. That's the thing is that at one point they were going to start him as quarterback right after Breeze left, and then it didn't work out. But every time you look at him, he shows potential in that position.
If you put him in as quarterback, he can't do any worse than Derek Carr.
No. I mean, they got a young guy coming up, and everybody's really truly excited about Spencer Rattler.
I'm big on him. His only problem, Spencer Rattler's problem, he's so small, man. He's short. He's Drew Brees size, but a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
But the dude is good.
Yeah, he was dropping some dimes out there the other day at preseason. But
and he can roll out and run, which is what you have to do with that offensive line.
Yep. You gotta get out of the pocket because the pocket's going to collapse in just a heartbeat.
There's one cornerback on here that was cut. Who he's older, I get it, but he's still a hammer, you know. And Rock Ya-Sin should be looked at by more people. He may have lost a step. He may not be a cornerback no more, but he can be a safety.
Right.
And he still has that power, you know. He's always been a powerful hitter. Someone's going to get him.
Oh, I'm sure. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he signs with the Lions. And so does Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson goes to the practice squad.
The Lions they got 2 footballs over there or something?
I think they got 2 fields, and they're playing one team every time.
If they don't go deep into the playoffs, man, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. The league is fixed if they don't go deep into the playoffs. But, Bailey Zappi, quarterback, okay, he wasn't great. But he's got starting time in his pocket. You know,
I'm sure it's a lot to do with the gambling. You got to take a gamble out there to go big. You know,
yeah.
And some of these teams out here that gamble, they need it because you've got some elite teams that are competing against each other, and you got teams that haven't moved for years, and the Panthers are one of them. And that's, and the Steelers, I don't really see the Steelers doing much right now. They seem to be struggling terribly.
Yeah,
and they can't get it together. The Giants can't get their stuff together either.
That's part of the reason why in these fantasy drafts, that's why I never draft a defense. If you draft a defense, you're wasting that pick having to play against top level teams with that one defense instead of just playing the waiver wire week to week and playing whatever Giants, defense is playing the Giants, the Patriots, the Steelers,
the Patriots. That was another one.
God. And that's what I do.
You're
I do it every year.
About a team that went from winning almost every other Super Bowl to can't win a game.
Right.
Man,
back to the Saints, man. What do you think? What do you think they're going to they're going to do.
I think
Olave is their only weapon to throw to. Well, Rashid, he's a downfield threat, but you have to have more than 2.93 seconds to throw the ball to him, which Derek Carr doesn't have.
I think if Derek Carr continues to produce like he did last year, that by the middle of the season, Spencer Rattler will be your starting quarterback.
Dennis Allen will be fired and Derek Carr will be traded.
I said that on the last episode, that Dennis Allen ain't going to make it through.
He ain't going to make it. He can't make it. He can't make it. He's married to Derek Carr, so where Derek Carr goes, he goes. And
what's crazy is, I said this last episode too, is that I've learned that your defensive coordinators, they suck at being an offensive coordinator and a head coach. And it's not just in the NFL. It's everywhere. Everywhere I see, you have a defensive coordinator who, for some reason, can't understand the schemes that they defend.
Right.
Like, all right, so I know I'm going to run nickel, do this and that. Like, you should know if you're defending against certain offenses, like if you're going to play zone man or however. And
this is the weak spot in the defense. This is where I need to throw.
Yeah, you should know that.
You should know that.
You should know how to beat your own game. And that's the one thing I don't understand. Every defensive coordinator, that steps up and becomes a head coach or an offensive coordinator, they struggle so much. They should honestly just outsource that to someone that lives that area and just let it go. Yeah,
there's very few quarterbacks now who can find the soft spot themselves without being schemed to it.
Yeah.
It used to be Peyton Manning. It used to be Tom Brady.
Peyton Manning was so methodical.
Coaching must have been easy.
Man.
But now who is it? Mahomes can do it, even though I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. Look at Mahomes' behind the back throw to Kelsey the other day. That was ridiculous.
Herbert can do it if they ever give him some weapons.
Yeah. I mean, last year he had 2 broke old dudes, and then now they got a bunch of new dudes that they need practice with.
Jordan Love showed last year he can do it.
Yep.
Just give him more time.
I'm going to tell you, that's going to be a team to watch going forward. Green Bay, they've got a lot of young guys that just want to break out. And they're all playing together, and they're all learning together. And before you know it, I think they're going to be a top team.
Right. So
I wouldn't be surprised they make it to the playoffs this year.
So how many more weeks we got? 2?
No, we're next Thursday. So we're looking at 1 week, and it'll be our first NFL game.
Nice. It's about time, man. I'm excited about it. So if there's any draft still going on, it's probably going to be in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I got one. A family draft we're going to conduct on Saturday, and I'm just going to play crazy. I'm going to try to do some stuff that I've never, I wouldn't normally do in a draft, just to see what I can do. So,
oh, man.
Probably pick players that I normally wouldn't pick,
That's a shame. You're gonna beat up on your family in fantasy
football. I'm not going
to
to beat them up. That's what my whole plan is. My plan is to, so my mom, let me tell you, this is crazy. My mom.
You're going to let your mom win.
My mom, before we got everybody in the draft, so we were looking for 10 people to draft. So we're looking to do a 10 people, draft league. And then we ended up with 10 people, and my mom hadn't signed in. So now we had to go to a 12-man league. So we convinced, one of my daughters to join in the league. And then I told her I'm gonna push the randomizing button on sleeper, and that's gonna be your draft position. And my mom said, I want to draft first. I want Christian McCaffrey. And lo and behold, she's 4th and I'm 3rd, and 2 of my kids are 1st and 2nd. And she is like, you're gonna get him if the girls don't pick him up. And I was like, I will let you have him.
That is
because I mean if they don't pick him, I don't have a problem picking Breece Hall or picking
Breece Hall is going to be good this year.
And let my mom get somebody she wants to watch. My dad wants Steele, the fourth running back for the Chiefs, because he says it reminds him of my son when he plays running back, the way he runs.
That's what I was thinking. If your son had that first pick, you can guarantee CMC's off the board.
He's way at the bottom.
He'll probably go Jonathan Taylor.
He did pretty good when we drafted. So
yeah. In one of our other leagues, remember someone didn't show up, and your son
drafted,
and he's only 16, right?
Correct.
And that's probably one of the better teams that is in the league. So he did a great job.
So KJ called me about that. And he literally said he drafted better than he would have drafted for himself.
Yeah, because you know what KJ would have done. Mahomes first
round
pick.
one.
Yep. But you love the people you love, so that's his guy.
And that's what the game's about, right? So I mean, not only is it about winning, it's also about being able to sit back, watch the game, and if you're not into fantasy football that much, understand this is when you play fantasy football, sometimes it's just about talking crap to the people you know.
Right. Years ago, everybody knew LaDainian Thompson was my guy, so
yep.
I was getting him no matter what if I had the first pick or so. Kyron Williams, did you see what they're going to do? He's going to run back punts.
Let's talk about that. So he's going to be a punt returner, right? So Kyron Williams is going to be a punt returner. How does that change his value?
It makes you need Corum.
Yeah, because he looks like he may end up getting injured.
I mean, man, why would you do that?
I don't know.
Blake Corum should be the one.
So his risk to reward went up in the risk factor. If you thought he was going to be the bell cow horse, I mean, he may make it through the whole season, but we're talking about the one position in which injuries occur the most, and that's your punt returner.
Yeah, because they've changed all the rules for kickoffs.
Yep.
But punt returners still get hit with flying missiles, man.
Full speed.
So I don't like that at all.
Yep.
Good thing I don't have him on none of my leagues.
I got him in one.
That's all I got for news for right now. I think since the league's about to start, man, we're going to be every couple of days, especially
I can't wait.
Tuesdays before the waiver wire pickups, because waiver wire is very important to me.
Yep, I say Fridays right after the Thursday night game.
Yep, and
then we'll have the waivers for the weekend that may have changed, or if people are still looking for last minute pickups, we can talk about them.
Just like Chad said last time, man, this podcast has changed everything for me. After 15, 18 years of doing this, it just got to be I was trying to win everybody's money.
Mundane. And
I was like, okay, I'll just take so-and-so. Now it's very important because I don't want people seeing, oh, man, he took so-and-so in the third round. What a dummy, you know?
Yeah. I also, it's got me to where I've started to learn deeper in the stats, learn more about certain players, and even learn about backups and everything. So, I mean, it's really made my study program go deeper and deeper.
It's ruined me as a fan, though.
Oh, why is that?
Fantasy football has. I only care what my players are doing. I just keep flipping the channel.
So my niece calls me the other day, and she says she's having a draft with her boyfriend's family, and she and this is where our family draft came from, was because they got brought up. But she started asking me about picks and asking me to explain all this. You know,
she's the enemy now. You can't explain that.
No. This is way before all this stuff happened, and it just. Sitting down and talking to her and trying to explain all this to her, it's just funny, you know. But I mean, that's what it's about: having fun and enjoying it. And you know, so
let's see. For me, you know, I've been in Louisiana probably 28 years. Mm-hmm. Became a Saints fan because of Drew Brees, singularly because of Drew Brees. I was born a Jets fan. That was that's a hard road, and now I'm going to have to do the same thing with the Saints now.
Yeah, but now your Jets are starting to pop up. They look like they may be a team to reckon with this year.
Yeah, I don't want to be jumping bandwagon. I'll stick out with the Saints, man. But it's hard. Yeah. It's hard.
So what I was going to say about my niece is that I tried to explain to her this, and this is facts. The hardest thing I find on game day is when you have players on both sides of the field. And you don't want one team to score, but you need them to score so you can win.
Against your defense.
Do I
want my quarterback to score on my defense? Yes, you do.
It is so terrible. So, or you got wide receivers on both sides of the field, and you're wanting the other player to, I mean, you're just like, all right, if he catches a touchdown, if he does this, if he does that, you know.
Who are you excited to see?
Like play?
Yeah, somebody that's either in a new team.
I want to see Jaden Daniels play.
I really do want to see him play. He looked great in the preseason. The dude looks like he was in LSU still exposing defenses.
So before preseason, I had a lot of worry. And
because he's so small.
Because he's so small and because of the conformity. Can he conform from college into the NFL? And
he played against some of the top defenses in college. So
yeah. And I was like, when I drafted him in our dynasty league, for me that was a gamble. And the reason being is because he's like, all right, so I got a rookie quarterback. And the reason I gambled was because it's kind of a 50-50. I know he was great in college. Can he be great in the NFL? And then watching the preseason, he stood out. So I was like, oh, man, like I may have just got me a dime,
Right.
And I watched him do some run-ins into the end zone that he had done in the NFL, in the college LSU games. And I didn't know they would work. Like, he ran in the same way. Nobody stopped him. He got away with it. I mean, and then his accuracy is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So between him and Joe Burrow, I mean, and
throwing on the run, man, it's crazy.
And hitting them easy.
So mine was I wanted to say Caleb Williams, but I just really don't care because it's the Bears.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're really going to do much this year. If Caleb Williams does good, it's good for DJ Moore, who I think is great. Mine is your guy, Bo Nix, man. For some reason, he just reminds me of Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's the reason I think Peyton went after him so hard and made that big move at the end of the year, was because he was looking for something he can develop. And I think with the quarterbacks that he had, he said, you know what, I can't really do much with this. Let me get someone who hasn't had the chance to become an old dog.
And
I need a new dog to teach new tricks.
the guy was mistreated in college. He lost his job at Auburn, which he, better quarterback, but still. But he stayed in college so long to try to get to the NFL. And the dude's got a great story. I think he's going to bring Troy Franklin with him.
Yeah.
When he does great, Troy Franklin's going to do great. He's going to become their number one receiver.
It's kind of like the Jamar Chase and Burrow situation.
Everybody wants that college quarterback and college wide receiver tandem.
It looks great, man. It's going to be great. It's going to be good to watch.
Yep, I believe so.
All right, so this concludes our episode. Till next time, I'm Nick Tate.
Joe Caldero.
And we're out.
Ay, give me the chip. I need the championship. Wait,
Smash Mouth Footballers.